Love, let's not sugarcoat it, can be downright dangerous. Not because it's inherently bad, but because it often blinds us to the obvious. What if the person you're falling for isn't the soulmate you thought you were? You were but a master manipulator who uses charm like a weapon and affection like a leash. Narcissists don't come with warning labels. They don't announce their intentions with neon signs. Instead, they drip-feed their toxicity into the relationship, leaving you wondering when everything went so wrong and whether it was all your fault. And here's the plot twist you didn't see coming. What happens when two narcissists date each other? Spoiler alert, it's not a romantic fairy tale. Think of it as two rival magicians trying to outmaneuver each other with every trick in the book. The result? An endless battlefield of manipulation, ego wars, and emotional devastation. And yet, some of them choose to stay in this chaotic loop. Why? Because the pain, drama, and fleeting highs become an addiction, a toxic cocktail too potent to resist. But this video isn't just about doom and gloom. It's about clarity. We're here to expose the exact signs that you're dating a narcissist, the psychological mind games they play, and why some people knowingly stay trapped in these destructive dynamics. More importantly, we'll show you how to reclaim your power, see through the manipulation, and escape the cycle for good. If these sound eerily familiar, share your story in the comments with the mantra, "I see the truth now." Acknowledging the problem is the first step toward breaking free. And don't just stop there. Like this video to help others recognize the signs, share it with anyone trapped in a toxic relationship, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more unapologetically honest insights into love, power, and emotional resilience. Watch until the end, because this video doesn't just tell you what's wrong, it shows you how to rise above it. Let's get started. First, let's dive into the signs that you might be dating a narcissist. Number 1, they sweep you off your feet. Love bombing. It starts like a whirlwind romance. The compliments are endless, the gifts extravagant, and the attention so overwhelming it feels like you've stepped into a dream. You're being showered with affection, and it's intoxicating. They tell you how amazing you are, how they've never met anyone like you, and how they can't wait to spend every waking moment with you. It feels perfect. Too perfect. Psychologists call this love bombing. It's not about genuine affection, it's about control. By flooding you with attention and adoration, they're conditioning you to crave their validation. It's a psychological high designed to make you emotionally dependent on them, and it works. Because who wouldn't fall for someone who makes you feel like the center of their universe? Here's where it gets tricky. This phase doesn't last. Once they've got you hooked, the adoration shifts. The person who once lifted you now starts to chip away at your confidence. The same gifts and compliments that made you feel special are replaced with subtle criticisms and emotional distance. You start chasing the high of those early days, thinking if you just try harder, you'll win back their attention. A real-world example? Imagine they surprise you with a lavish weekend getaway in the early days of your relationship. You're amazed, they've planned everything to perfection. But months later, when the relationship hits a rough patch, they bring it up. "After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me." What felt like love was an investment, a way to secure control over your emotions. The Stoics offer timeless wisdom for situations like this. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, never let the sweetness of joy make you lose control of yourself. What does this mean? Even in the most euphoric moments, maintain your balance. Recognize the difference between genuine affection and excessive, calculated gestures. Real love grows steadily. It doesn't explode in fireworks only to burn out later. So, how do you protect yourself? Stay grounded. If it feels too good to be true, pause and reflect. Watch for consistency. Are their actions aligning with their words over time? Set boundaries early. Genuine love respects boundaries, while manipulation tests them. Remember, love should build you up without tearing you down later. The next time someone comes on too strong, don't rush to label it as destiny. Instead, ask yourself, is this real or just part of the game? Because true love isn't a storm, it's a steady, nourishing rain. Number 2, they can't handle criticism at all. Oh, you dared to give them feedback? Buckle up, because you've just triggered the emotional equivalent of a nuclear meltdown. Narcissists view criticism the way a vampire views sunlight. It It's an existential threat, and they'll do anything to escape it. Here's how it plays out. You gently suggest, hey, maybe we could split chores a little more evenly? Harmless, right? Wrong. Instead of a calm discussion, you get one of three classic reactions. 1. The defensive wall. Are you saying I don't do enough after everything I've done for you? They've just turned your mild comment into an all-out accusation, and now you're the villain. 2. The nuclear outburst. They unleash a tirade, listing all your flaws in excruciating detail. By the time they're done, you're questioning whether you're the problem. Spoiler, you're not. 3. The silent assassin. They withdraw completely. No texts, no calls, no nothing. It's the infamous silent treatment, designed to punish you for daring to criticize the untouchable. Why do they react like this? Psychology explains it simply. Their ego is a fragile glass sculpture. Any hint of critique feels like a hammer poised to shatter it. Instead of reflecting on their behavior, they go into overdrive, deflecting blame and manipulating the narrative to protect their carefully crafted self-image. A real-world example? Imagine you're out at dinner. They mispronounce something on the menu, and you chuckle lightly saying, "It's pronounced bruschetta." A normal partner would laugh it off, maybe even thank you for the correction. Not a narcissist. Their face tightens. "Oh, I didn't realize you were a language expert," they snap, turning your lighthearted comment into an unforgivable crime. The rest of the evening is spent walking on eggshells, trying to undo the damage you caused. The Stoics, masters of self-control, offer wisdom for situations like this. Epictetus teaches us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Here's how to navigate the storm. Don't engage in their drama. Stay calm and avoid fueling the fire. Refuse to take the bait. Their overreaction is about them, not you. Don't let it shake your confidence. Stand your ground. A simple, "I'm just sharing my perspective," delivered without anger, can help you maintain your composure. Remember, criticism is a normal part of any healthy relationship. If they treat your feedback like a personal attack, it's a red flag, not a quirk. Real partners can accept critique without imploding. So the next time their ego shatters like fine china over a tiny remark, ask yourself, is this someone I can truly build with? Or just someone who will crumble at the first sign of honesty? Number 3. They turn everything into being about them. Self-centeredness. You're in the middle of sharing a heartfelt story, something that matters deeply to you. Maybe it's about a promotion you've been working toward for months, or a personal milestone you're proud of. Halfway through your sentence, they interrupt. "You know, that reminds me of the time I banned my entire department single-handedly. Everyone said they'd never seen such leadership before." Just like that, your moment evaporates, hijacked by their need to be the star of the show. With a narcissist, every conversation is a revolving door that always swings back to them. They don't just want to be part of the story, they want to be the story. Your successes are rebranded as inspired by them. Your struggles dismissed as trivial compared to their heroic triumphs. If you're sick, they've been sicker. If you're busy, they've been busier. If you're excited about something, they've already done it better. Psychologically, this behavior stems from their insatiable need for validation. By centering themselves in every interaction, they reinforce the illusion that they're indispensable, extraordinary, and superior. Unfortunately, this often comes at the expense of your feelings, needs, and individuality. Let's look at a real-world example. You're venting about a tough day at work. Before you can finish, they cut in. "Wow, that's nothing compared to the time my boss made me redo an entire project overnight. I didn't sleep for 48 hours. Suddenly, you're no longer the focus, and your concerns feel small and insignificant. Or consider this, you bring up a hobby you've been enjoying. Let's say you've started painting. Instead of showing interest, they respond with, "Oh, I used to paint all the time. Everyone said I had natural talent. Maybe I'll pick it up again, probably be better than most people now." The conversation is no longer about your passion. It's about your hypothetical brilliance. The Stoics offer a reminder here. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Here's how to manage their self-centeredness without losing your sanity. Stay calm and redirect the focus. If they derail the conversation, gently steer it back. That's interesting, but I was hoping to share this with you. Recognize their limits. Understand that their behavior is less about dismissing you and more about their need for attention. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly let them know when their interruptions are hurtful. I wanted to finish sharing that. Can we come back to it? Choose your battles. Not every conversation needs to be a power struggle. Sometimes, letting them have their moment can save you energy for more important discussions. The truth is that meaningful relationships require reciprocity, both parties listening, sharing, and supporting each other. If every interaction feels like a monologue about them, ask yourself, are they interested in knowing you or just using you as an audience for their ego? Because you deserve to be heard, not overshadowed. Number 4, they lack genuine empathy. At first glance, they might seem to care deeply. They lean in when you're upset, nodding thoughtfully, saying just the right thing. That must have been so hard for you. For a fleeting moment, you feel seen and understood. But then comes the second sentence, the one that shatters the illusion. But honestly, I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of it. If I were in your shoes, I'd handle it so much better. This is the hallmark of a narcissist's faux empathy. They mimic concern, not to connect with you, but to manipulate the situation or redirect attention back to themselves. Their support always comes with a subtle invalidation of your feelings, or a comparison that leaves you feeling smaller. Picture this. You come home from a draining day at work, overwhelmed and looking for comfort. You share how a colleague unfairly blamed you for something. They respond with, "Wow, that's awful. People can be such jerks, but you know that's nothing compared to what I went through last year when my boss called me out in front of the entire team. I handled it like a pro though." Suddenly, the spotlight is on them, and your experience feels trivialized. Another example? Imagine you're grieving a personal loss. They show up, offering a hug and saying, "I can't imagine what you're going through." It sounds comforting, until they follow it up with, "When I lost my dog last year, I felt like my world ended. But I got through it quickly, because I'm strong like that. You should try moving on too." Their words twist the moment, shifting the narrative to themselves, and subtly implying your pain isn't valid. Psychologically, this behavior stems from their inability to genuinely connect with others' emotions. True empathy requires stepping outside oneself to feel another person's pain or joy. For narcissists, this is an impossible task. They can imitate the outward behaviors of empathy but lack the depth to truly mean it. Marcus Aurelius offers this timeless reflection. A person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value. This serves as a powerful reminder to prioritize relationships that honor mutual care and understanding, rather than investing in those that only seek to diminish your worth. How to recognize and protect yourself. 1. Listen beyond their words. Pay attention to whether their empathy feels genuine or if it always circles back to them. Authentic care isn't self-serving. 2. Don't seek validation from them. If their response leaves you feeling unheard or minimized, don't chase their understanding. Seek comfort from friends, family, or yourself. 3. Set boundaries. When they dismiss your emotions, calmly address them. I need someone to listen without comparing or downplaying what I'm going through. 4. Focus on self-compassion. Don't let their lack of empathy make you doubt your feelings. Your emotions are valid, and you deserve to be supported. Empathy is the foundation of healthy relationships, and its absence creates a void that no amount of faux concern can fill. If you consistently feel unheard, diminished, or dismissed, ask yourself, are they truly here for me, or are they just here for themselves? Recognizing the difference is the first step toward emotional freedom. Number 5. They're always jealous and competitive, but make it sound like a compliment. You just landed a big promotion at work, something you've been grinding toward for months. You share the news, expecting genuine excitement from your partner. Instead, they smile thinly and say, "Well, I guess even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes." A joke? Maybe, but there's an edge to it. A subtle jab that makes your accomplishment feel smaller, less impressive. This is how a narcissist's jealousy often operates. It's veiled, dressed up as humor, or disguised as a reality check. They can't outright celebrate your success because, deep down, it feels like an attack on their worth. In their world, your win is their loss, and they'll do whatever it takes to recenter themselves as the star of the show. Consider another scenario. You're excitedly recounting how a friend praised your work ethic. Their response? "Oh, that's nice. But didn't I tell you I was the top performer at my old job for 3 years straight? It's hard to impress me after that." They've turned your moment into a stage for their imaginary accolades, leaving you wondering if you should have kept your achievement to yourself. Or take this. You post a picture from a vacation you've been saving up for, and instead of a "Wow, that's amazing," you get a dismissive "It's cute. But when I went to Europe last year, I stayed in a 5-star villa. Did you manage to splurge on more than Coach?" Why do they do this? Psychology points to a deep-seated insecurity. Narcissists thrive on being the center of attention, and when someone else's success threatens that position, their immediate reaction is to downplay, undermine, or outshine. Jealousy isn't just an emotion for them, it's a defense mechanism. Marcus Aurelius reminds us how much more grievous are the consequences of anger and envy than the causes of them. Here's how to handle their not-so-subtle jealousy. 1. Don't take the bait. When they downplay your success, resist the urge to defend or justify it. Your achievements stand on their merit. You don't need their validation. 2. Acknowledge their behavior without feeding it. If their jealousy becomes too obvious, calmly call it out. "You seem upset by my success. Is there something bothering you?" This shifts the focus back to their behavior without escalating the tension. 3. Protect your joy. Share your wins with people who genuinely support you. If they can't handle your success, that's their problem, not yours. 4. Set boundaries. If their comparisons become constant, establish a boundary. I'd rather focus on celebrating this moment than comparing it to anything else. A narcissist's jealousy isn't just exhausting, it's corrosive. It eats away at the joy you should feel from your accomplishments and replaces it with unnecessary doubt or frustration. Remember, their inability to celebrate you says more about their insecurities than your worth. So the next time their envy sneaks out as a backhanded compliment or a petty comparison, smile and move on. Let their jealousy fuel your determination, not your self-doubt, because your success is yours to own, and no one gets to diminish that, not even them. Number 6, they have a need to control every aspect of the relationship. Picture this. You're heading out for a casual lunch and you decide to wear your favorite striped socks. They stop you at the door, their face twisted in exaggerated concern. "Green socks? Really? What will people think?" Everyone wears blue-green looks ridiculous. You hesitate, questioning your choice. Before you can respond, add, "You'll embarrass yourself, and by association, me." Suddenly, a minor wardrobe decision spirals into a full-blown crisis. At first, you might dismiss this behavior as them having an eye for detail or wanting the best for you. After all, some people genuinely excel at aesthetics or notice things you might overlook. Constructive advice, when rooted in care, can be helpful. But there's a fine line between guidance and control, and narcissists cross it with precision. In their world, this isn't about your socks. It's about their dominance. They justify their overreach with imagined social repercussions. Everyone will notice. Or worse, people will think less of us. What starts as a simple suggestion morphs into a full-scale gaslighting operation. If you resist, you're met with fury, passive aggression, or the dreaded silent treatment. This need for dominance extends far beyond your outfit. Where to eat? They decide. Who do you spend time with? Their input becomes law. Even your emotions are fair game. Are you too happy about a work promotion? Don't get too excited. It's not that big of a deal. Feeling upset about a disagreement? Why are you overreacting? You're so dramatic. Narcissists craft these scenarios not because they care about the details, but because controlling them secures their power. Your autonomy threatens their fragile ego, and by dismantling it piece by piece, they ensure their supremacy in the relationship. How to spot the red flags? 1. Overreaction to minor choices. Whether it's your socks, your haircut, or your choice of coffee, they make even trivial preferences feel like life or death decisions. Constant justification with imagined consequences. They wield the phantom sword of what people will think to manipulate you into compliance. 3. Erosion of your emotional independence. Your feelings are invalidated or warped to fit their narrative. Over time, you might even question whether your reactions are correct. 4. disguised criticism as advice. While constructive criticism stems from care, their advice leaves you doubting yourself rather than feeling supported. How to break free. 1. Differentiate between help and control. Ask yourself, is this advice enhancing my life, or is it eroding my independence? 2. Assert your boundaries. Practice calmly but firmly stating your preferences. I like these socks, and I'm wearing them because they make me happy. 3. Deconstruct their justifications. When they invoke societal judgment, counter with logic. I'm not dressing for everyone, I'm dressing for myself. 4. Reclaim decision-making in small steps. Start making minor choices independently. Wear the socks, choose the movie. Over time, this builds confidence and disrupts their narrative. Epictetus once noted, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid by others. Narcissists thrive on making you feel small, foolish, or unworthy for asserting yourself. But their imagined social consequences hold no weight if you embrace your individuality unapologetically. The truth is, it's not about the socks or the sushi or the color of your walls. It's about freedom. By recognizing the difference between genuine care and manipulation, you can reclaim your choices and live authentically. So next time they criticize your preferences or manufacture imaginary judgment, remember, their control only holds as much power as you're willing to give it. And those green socks, wear them proudly. They're yours, and so is your life. Number 7. They never take responsibility, but God help you if it's your fault. Imagine this. They accidentally spill coffee all over your favorite book. Instead of apologizing, they laugh it off with a breezy, "Oops, you shouldn't have left it there." No acknowledgement, no remorse, just a quick deflection that somehow makes it your problem. But flip the scenario. You're the one who accidentally knocked their coffee over. Their reaction? A dramatic sigh, a glare that could pierce steel, and a monologue about how you're always careless. You're left scrambling to apologize, clean up, and make amends while they revel in the chaos they've created around your mistake. This is the hallmark of a narcissist's refusal to take responsibility. When they mess up, it's either someone else's fault, a joke, or a situation too trivial to warrant acknowledgement. However, when the tables turn, your mistakes are magnified into character flaws. They don't just want an apology, they want repentance, groveling, and your absolute submission. Why? Psychologically, this behavior protects their fragile ego. Admitting fault threatens their carefully constructed image of perfection. It's easier and safer for them to shift blame or minimize their role in any mishap. But when you're at fault, they seize the opportunity to assert dominance, reminding you of your inferiority. Here is everyday examples of narcissistic deflection. 1. At work. A deadline is missed because they dropped the ball, but they claim, "You didn't remind me enough times." Meanwhile, you spend the next week cleaning up their mess. 2. In relationships. They forget your birthday, but instead of apologizing, they say, "I've been so stressed, why didn't you remind me? You know how busy I am." Yet the one time you forget an anniversary, it's a week-long guilt trip. 3. With friends. They make a rude comment in public and brush it off with a smirk. "You're so sensitive, it was just a joke." However, if you tease them about anything, prepare for the silent treatment or an outburst. How to deal with their blame shifting. 1. Refuse to absorb blame. When they deflect, calmly state, "I didn't cause this, and it's not fair to put it on me." Hold your ground without becoming defensive. 2. Don't let their laughter dismiss your feelings. If they try to laugh off a mistake, respond with, "I don't find this funny, I'd appreciate acknowledgement instead." 3. Acknowledge your own mistakes without over-apologizing. If you've done something wrong, apologize sincerely, but don't let them weaponize your guilt. For instance, "I'm sorry I spilled your coffee. It was an accident, not a pattern." 4. Keep track of patterns. Document incidents where they refuse responsibility or escalate your faults. This clarity can help you recognize the unhealthy dynamics at play. Epictetus said it best, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." A narcissist thrives on your emotional reaction. When you stay calm and refuse to engage in their blame games, you strip them of their power. Their refusal to apologize isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their inability to handle accountability. So the next time they deflect, minimize, or escalate, remind yourself, You're not their scapegoat, and you don't owe them the emotional labor of carrying their faults. Let them keep their ego intact. It's not your job to fix it. Number 8. They subtly erode your confidence. Imagine this. You're getting ready for a dinner date. You've chosen an outfit that makes you feel good, confident even. As you walk out to meet them, they glance at you with a faint smile and say, "You're wearing that? It's fine, I guess. You've always had such unique taste." The words linger in the air, and suddenly your confidence wavers. Is this outfit a bad choice? Was that a compliment or an insult? This is the hallmark of a narcissist's subtle confidence-eroding tactics. They don't outright insult you. That would be too obvious. Instead, they deliver backhanded compliments or seemingly innocent observations that plant seeds of self-doubt. Over time, these remarks accumulate, leaving you questioning your worth, your abilities, and even your perceptions. Let's say you share a work achievement you're proud of, expecting support. Their response? "Oh, that's great. I just wonder why they didn't give you the bigger project. I'm sure you'll get there eventually." At first, it sounds encouraging, but the underlying message, you're not good enough yet. The pain lies in their precision. They know your insecurities and your vulnerabilities, and they exploit them under the guise of love, care, or even humor. And because they're your partner, the person you trust, you internalize the negativity. Instead of seeing it for what it is, you blame yourself. Maybe I am overthinking. Maybe I am too sensitive. How it plays out. 1. Backhanded compliments. "You're really brave to wear that outfit. I could never pull it off." Translation. "You look ridiculous, but I'm framing it as admiration so you can't call me out." 2. Pointing out flaws under the guise of help. "You've gained a little weight, haven't you? It's okay. I like you anyway." Translation. "I'm making you self-conscious about your appearance, but I'm couching it as affection to mask my intentions." 3. Comparisons that cut deep. "My ex used to be good at insert skill. You should try it sometime." Translation. "You're not measuring up, but I'll make it seem like a suggestion." Psychologically, this behavior stems from their need to feel superior. By making you question yourself, they elevate their status in the relationship. Your self-doubt ensures that you're less likely to challenge their dominance or leave the relationship, keeping them in control. How to break free. 1. Identify the patterns. Pay attention to how their words make you feel. If you consistently leave conversations feeling things smaller or less confident, it's a red flag. 2. Call out the behavior. Respond calmly but assertively. "That comment felt more like a criticism than a compliment. Can we talk about it?" 3. Reaffirm your worth. Counter their narrative by reminding yourself of your strengths. Keep a journal of your achievements and positive qualities to revisit when self-doubt creeps in. 4. Seek outside perspectives. Share their comments with a trusted friend or therapist. Often, an outside perspective can help you see the manipulation. Epictetus reminds us, know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. A narcissist's comments only hold power if you let them define you. When you truly know your worth, their veiled criticisms lose their sting. Their subtle tactics are designed to make you feel small while keeping them blameless. But understanding the game allows you to reclaim your confidence. Remember, love should build you up, not tear you down. So next time they jokingly point out a flaw or wrap an insult in a compliment, pause. Ask yourself, is this love or is this control disguised as care? Because the truth is, your worth isn't up for debate, and certainly not for their manipulation. Now that we've unraveled the intricate dynamics of dating a narcissist, let's dive into an even more intriguing and often explosive territory. What happens when two narcissists fall in love? Is it a match made in manipulation heaven, or does it implode under the weight of constant power struggles and fragile egos? We're about to explore the telltale signs, the unique push and pull of such relationships, and why, despite the chaos, some narcissistic couples choose to stay together. Buckle up, because this is where psychology meets the theater of love, and the drama unfolds in ways you won't want to miss. Number 9. When two narcissists fall in love. When two narcissists enter a relationship, the dynamic becomes less about love and more about an unrelenting power play. Instead of mutual respect and support, it's a chess game where every move is designed to outshine, outmaneuver, or outlast the other. What should be a partnership often devolves into a stage where both strive to dominate the spotlight. Signs of a narcissistic showdown. Constant competition. Every achievement becomes a battleground. One partner lands a promotion, and instead of celebrating, the other says, "Well, I was offered a better one last year, but turned it down." This is not mutual joy, it's one-upmanship. Emotional manipulation is warfare. Arguments are less about resolving issues and more about winning. Both partners deploy guilt trips, passive aggression, and subtle digs to come out on top. "If you loved me, you wouldn't need to win at everything," one might say while plotting their next move to regain dominance. Empathy deficiency. Emotions are not shared experiences, they're tools. When one partner expresses vulnerability, the other might respond with faux concern like, "Oh, that must be so hard for you. But let me tell you about my day instead." Stalemates over responsibility. Apologies? Forget it. Both partners refuse to take accountability, each accusing the other of being the real problem. No compromise, no resolution, just endless finger-pointing. Are you exhibiting narcissistic traits? Wondering if you might be part of this dynamic? Ask yourself. 1. Do you crave admiration to feel validated? If compliments and praise are your emotional fuel, you might need to check your dependency on external validation. 2. Do you prioritize your emotions over others? If you consistently dismiss your partner's feelings to focus on your own, this imbalance can signal narcissistic tendencies. 3. Do you avoid responsibility for problems? If your default mode is to blame your partner while absolving yourself, take a moment to reflect. 4. Does their success feel like a threat? If you find yourself diminishing or resenting their accomplishments, that's a red flag. 5. Are you never truly satisfied, no matter what they do? If their efforts to please you never feel enough, it's worth considering why. The addiction to painful passion. For some narcissistic couples, the chaos itself becomes addictive. The highs of shared victories and public adoration are intoxicating, while the lows of power struggles and emotional warfare fuel an almost masochistic sense of intensity. Pain becomes the price for passion, and in their eyes, the thrill is worth it. But this roller coaster of manipulation and fleeting admiration comes with a cost. Trust erodes, intimacy fades, and both parties are left drained. Stoic wisdom warns us against chasing such fleeting highs. Marcus Aurelius aptly said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The lesson here? True connection comes from mutual respect, not constant rivalry. If you find yourself locked in this dynamic, ask whether the highs are worth the crushing lows. And more importantly, if your relationship with yourself is suffering, it's time to pause and reflect. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking free. Love doesn't have to be a battlefield of egos. It can be a space of growth, trust, and mutual empowerment. The question is, are you ready to leave the stage and build something real? Because you deserve more than a competition, you deserve a connection. Up until now, we've been looking at what it's like to date a narcissist. The manipulation, the control, the subtle but soul-crushing tactics. But what happens when the playing field is leveled? When two narcissists find each other, it's not a love story, it's a power struggle wrapped in the guise of romance. This is where the dynamics get truly fascinating and even more chaotic. Two people driven by the same need for control, admiration, and dominance, locked in a relationship that's as magnetic as it is destructive. And sometimes, they know exactly what they're getting into, but can't seem to let go. Why? Let's dive into the intoxicating highs, the devastating lows, and the twisted reasons some narcissistic couples stick together despite the constant turmoil. So, what happens when two narcissists fall in love? We've explored the telltale signs, the endless competition, the manipulative power plays, and the emotional tug-of-war. But here's the twist. Some couples, aware that they're both narcissists, still choose to stay together. Why? Is it because they're unaware of the damage? Hardly. For many, it's the intoxicating thrill of the highs and lows, the magnetic pull of being with someone who mirrors their ambition and intensity. Others stay because their relationship isn't just about love. It's about image, power, and the validation that comes from being seen as a power couple. Let's dive into why these couples knowingly hold on to their toxic bond, despite the chaos it brings. Number 10. When two narcissists love each other, the dangerous game of social validation and emotional extremes. When two narcissists enter a relationship, something extraordinary happens. Many of them know the relationship is fraught with pain, yet they stay. Why? Because it offers things they're unwilling to give up: social validation and the thrill of emotional extremes. Narcissistic couples often exude charm, talent, or power, making them the ideal couple society envies. They bask in the glow of admiration, envious glances, and recognition from friends, colleagues, or social media. But beneath this polished exterior lies a covert battle. Competing for admiration: who garners more attention? Who receives more praise? Desire to control each other. Both aim to dominate the relationship, leading to constant, simmering tension. Addicted to pain and emotional highs, this relationship isn't just a contest, it's a continuous supply of intense emotions. For narcissists, the highs of love are inseparable from the chaos and pain they create. Emotional extremes as stimulation. Every explosive argument, dramatic breakup, reunion, or fiery bout of jealousy serves as an emotional jolt that makes them feel alive. Pain as a bonding agent. The hurt they inflict on each other often deepens their dependency, creating a cycle of emotional addiction. Why do they stay? 1. Fear of losing their image. Narcissistic couples cling to their relationship because they refuse to shatter the perfect image they've curated for the world. They would rather endure the pain than be perceived as failures. 2. Addiction to emotional highs. While they recognize the harm, those sweet, dramatic make-up moments convince them that the pain is worth it. 3. Dread of normalcy. A peaceful life feels dull to them. They crave drama, even when it sabotages their happiness. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If you or someone you know is caught in such a dynamic, it's crucial to understand that the euphoria derived from pain isn't real love. It's a toxic cycle that must be broken. Start by identifying the driving forces that keep you in this relationship. Are you staying because you love them, or because you love how the world sees you as a couple? Does the pain genuinely make you happy, or is it merely an emotional trick? A relationship between two narcissists may appear dazzling on the surface, but inside, it's like playing with fire. Eventually, one or both will be consumed. The question isn't who will win, it's whether either will find the courage to walk away and save themselves. As Marcus Aurelius also said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Narcissistic behavior isn't a life sentence. If you recognize some of these traits in yourself, consider this your chance to grow. True self-esteem doesn't come from controlling or manipulating others, but from becoming someone confident, sincere, and open to listening. Remember, identifying these patterns in yourself and your partner is the first step toward breaking free from this destructive cycle and finding balance in love. Conclusion. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward breaking free from a toxic relationship or rebuilding your confidence in love. Awareness empowers change, and change brings freedom. Now, take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed these behaviors in your partner, or even in yourself? It's never too late to take action, set boundaries, and choose a path toward healthier connections. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic to spread awareness and help others navigate their journeys. Drop your story or thoughts in the comments below with the phrase, "I see through the lies." Your voice matters, and by sharing, you're inspiring others to see the truth. Thank you for watching, and remember, knowledge is your greatest ally in love and life. See you in the next video. Stay strong, stay wise, and take control of your story.